How's it going? Welcome to the channel. So today we're taking a look at this HiKNiGHT H6 Pro. It's a dual motor 26-inch electric bike. So you see there's just minor damage to the box, you know, no big deal. The rest of it looks pretty good, but I'm gonna unbox it really quick. I'm not gonna make you sit there and watch me do it, and I'll show you how it comes unboxed. Okay, well here's what it looks like out of the box. It's a little bit of packing material left on there, but actually pretty nice. I like the sort of gold color forks there. You can see it's got full suspension. We'll get into all the details a little bit later, but as far as assembly, you're gonna have to put on the rear rack, the front fender, the front wheel assembly with the motor, and then we'll have to put on the pedals, of course. There's a little tool kit here with some zip ties. They give you extra brake pads, that's nice. A bike lock. You got your manual, 2-amp charger, not great. So you're looking at, I don't know, 10 hours to charge from empty to full. You're also going to have to install the headlight to give you a phone holder, a little bike pump there, and gloves. And believe it or not, the gloves actually fit. So it actually comes decently assembled, so I'll throw this together really quick and we'll cut back in and start the review. All right, and here she is all put together. So it took me about 45 minutes to put this thing together, but you know, I've put together tons of e-bikes, so you know, I expect about an hour I think for assembly. It wasn't too bad at all. So we can jump right into sort of the specs here. So this thing's rocking a 52 volt 20 amp hour battery, and that's paired with two 1500 watt peak motors, so a total of 3000 watts when you're running it in dual motor mode. It's a 7-speed bike with a Shimano derailleur, and it's paired with your basic e-bike little trigger shifter there. You can see it's got full suspension. It's semi-adjustable here. I think you got preload on this side and damping on that side, and then a non-adjustable air shock rated for 950 pounds. I like how the battery is integrated into the frame there, and you just got this little cover for your charging port to keep it waterproof. It does come with a rear rack here. These things are usually rated for about 100 pounds or so. Really convenient to have that, especially if you're like, you know, delivering DoorDash, or you want to put a tank bag or a rack bag on there or something like that. You have that option. It comes with looks to be 4-piston hydraulic brakes on 180 millimeter rotors. Actually a really good brake setup for this bike. You got the same setup on the front and the rear. And you got, I don't even know how to say that, Diastland branded reservoirs and levers here. You know, they feel pretty good. They're not too cheap. They got kind of like the fake machine sort of look to them. So the bike does come with a headlight and a brake light with turn signals. Kind of bright, but I have the turn signals on. I'm not sure if you can see it or not. You got your standard sort of e-bike pedals. You know, not too bad of a seat. It's actually pretty comfortable. A little small, but, you know, works fine. Then we can go over the dash a little bit. So on this side, you have your controls for your light, your turn signals, and your horn. Horn is decently loud. I think it's integrated into that headlight up there. And then you got your switch for single and dual motor modes here. You got your info button. This is your power up and down. You got your power. You got your light switch. This doesn't control the light. This button here controls the light. This controls how bright or dim your display is. See that? And then you have you hold this down and it'll walk. So if you get stuck somewhere, you need help walking it out, hold this down and it'll walk slowly with you out. And then you've got your, you know, your standard e-bike ergo grips. I actually like these. They feel pretty good and they're kind of locked in pretty well. You got your, what is this, quarter twist? It's a half throttle here on the right hand side. I like the twist throttles a lot better than like the thumb throttles, so I like that they have that. And then display, let's get your charging state on top, your speed, your pedal assist level there, and then you got your odometer, and then you can go through trip, odometer, your max speed, and your average speed right there. So pretty simple display. One thing I wish they would include is the percentage or voltage up here. I don't like the simple bar thing. So you got spoked wheels, 26-inch rims, 26 by 4-inch fat tires there with a dual sporty type tread, same in front and back. And then you got your plastic fenders, both front and rear, which I'm totally fine with. Personally, I don't care if they're plastic or aluminum, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. All right, well, enough with the specs. Let's just get out there and start testing it and have some fun. Before we get into this top speed test and stuff, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Really trying to get as many subscribers as I can this year. I just hit 10,000. My goal is 50,000. I know that's really ambitious, but anyways, click that button. Help me out, please. All right, so we'll start off with rear wheel only, and we're going to do 2 runs, like one right here is slightly uphill, and then we'll do slightly downhill, just kind of see where we're at. Slightly uphill, looking at 22, 21, about 20 miles an hour. Going uphill, it's actually pretty good for a single. Now test the same, just going back the other direction, slightly downhill. The torque's actually not too bad. in single wheel only mode. We should get up past 30, I would think. Let's see, hit 31, so now we kind of straightened out a bit. And we dropped down to about 28 miles an hour there. Alright, not bad. Alright, now let's get her in dual motor mode. And we'll do another run. 27, so we're still kind of on flat ground right now. Hit 30, 31 on flat, 32 on flat. Wow, that's pretty good on flat. Now we're going slightly uphill, maintaining 30 miles an hour. Dip down to 29, so 29, 30 miles an hour. That's actually pretty damn good. Going slightly uphill. We'll test a steeper hill later, but let's go downhill. So, you know, it should be like 32, 33 miles an hour or something like that. This thing's very stable. Hit 35, 34, 34 miles an hour. Sweet. And the acceleration from Go and dual motor mode, it's not going to, you know, blow your hair back or anything like that, but you do feel a good amount of torque. Alright, while we're on our way to do the off-road thing, we can just test how fast the pedal assist comes on. Pretty sure it's a cadence sensor, but if it's not, I'll correct myself on the screen here. So let's go 1, 2, 3. Wow, pretty slow. Let's try that again. So 1, 2. Okay, so it's 2. Let's try it one more time. 1. That one's like 1.5. Let's try 1.5. Yeah, so it's about 1.5 turns, full turns, to get the pedal assist to kick in. Not the best, not the worst. It's kind of average for a cadence sensor. Torque sensors are a lot faster because as soon as it feels torque on the pedals, it'll kick in. The cadence is a little different, but it's fine. Wow, this thing hauls butt. Now, while we're talking about power and speed, acceleration, all that kind of stuff, it's a good time to talk about range. So this thing's got a 20 amp hour battery, 52 volt, 20 amp hour battery. I'll put the total watt hours on the screen right here. That's actually a pretty good sized motor for a single motor bike. It's not the best for dual motors. It's not the worst either. It's going to be fine. Where am I going? Oh yeah, over here. But I would say in single motor mode, you're probably looking at, you know, worst case scenario, if you had it in full power mode when you were like throttling it the whole time, you know, maybe you can get like 30 miles out of it. But in dual motor mode, because you got two motors pulling at the battery at the same time, and you're pulling 3,000 watts on a 20 amp hour battery, you're probably looking, you know, really kind of a max of like 20 miles. Alright, let's see how it performs off-road. It is full suspension. You got these semi-adjustable forks in the front, and then you got your air shock in the rear there. Let's get a little bit of speed. Yeah. It actually feels pretty dang comfortable. Yeah, like not too bad at all, actually. Now, obviously, this isn't something you want to take off like jumps or anything like that, but it is going to be more than sufficient for, like, you know, stuff like this, just going on grass or hitting up some you know, trails. As if you have a trail, you'll be totally fine with this, but, you know, don't want to take it off ramps or anything. So far, I really like the torque and acceleration on this thing, even though it has the 26-inch wheels. You know, usually when you have the bigger wheels, you get higher top speed, but you get lower torque. And so sometimes the 20-inch wheel e-bikes are a little bit better if you prefer that acceleration feeling over, like, the higher top speed. But this one, it feels good. Like, it's a really good balance between acceleration and top speed. So the comfort is, it's actually very comfortable. I have the seat pretty low because I typically use the throttle only, and I like to have, you know, I don't like to lean too far forward to get to the bars because I do have a little bit of a bad back, so I don't like putting too much pressure on my lower back. But I actually feel really comfortable with the seat all the way down. If you're a person that likes to do the pedal assist thing, there's a good amount of adjustability, so even your tall riders are going to be fine. I would say this thing's probably good for people about 5'4" to, you know, whatever, 6'5" or something like that. As far as like comfort, the full suspension and these big old 26-inch by 4-inch fat tires, it makes it a really cushy ride. Like, it's a pretty comfortable ride. Soaks up the bumps really good. It's really not too shabby. So I think they did a good job of trying to find like that sweet spot, that balance for, you know, a dual motor bike, and, you know, sort of it's off-road capable enough to take it off-road. It's also a really good street bike and commuter bike, and it's got a lot more of that fun factor because of the dual motors. And they did give it a big enough battery to where, like, you know, you can choose. If you want, you're not going too far and you want to blast around in dual motor mode and have fun, you know, you just have to keep in mind you're not going to get as long as range. But if you really want to, you know, maximize that range for commuting, then you can do that. So I'm doing another high speed run. Look at this. Got up to 35 miles an hour, almost 36. Well, I think it hit 36 briefly right there. I feel like I'm going that really fast, actually. All right after this left-hand turn right here, we're going to hit a reasonably steep hill. You know, a lot of people argue with me in my videos telling me I'm lying about a hill, but it's just because of the camera, super wide angle. If you look at the fence over there, that brick wall, you see that, how it's going uphill? I'm going up a pretty steep hill right now, and I'm hitting about 29 miles an hour, 28, 29, up that hill. See, now we're going back downhill. You can tell by that brick wall again. This thing hauls ass. For a 52-volt bike, you know, being able to hit, you know, 30 miles an hour going up kind of a steep hill with me on there, I'm close to 300 pounds now. I always say 275, but it's been a gluttonous holiday season, let's say. So I'm getting close to 300 now. So it carries a 300-pound dude up that pretty steep hill at 30 miles an hour. I'm hitting 35 miles an hour kind of flat. So this thing is fast. Yeah, and like the acceleration, like I said, we're going uphill slightly right here, so it's not as fast like on a flat surface, but like it's actually pretty good acceleration, pretty good torque. So this is going to be a good bike to use in most areas, at least in dual motor mode. And like I said, this bike's pretty versatile, so if you're coming up on a steep hill or something like that and you want the extra torque, you just throw it in dual motor mode. And then if you're trying to maximize your range, you just take it out of dual motor mode, you know, when you don't need that extra torque and acceleration, so you can kind of modulate the power to get the best range out of this battery. Oh, I hit 36 right there. Alright, so this thing does have pretty beefy brakes. I've been, you know, sort of bedding them in, so let's go and test it really quick. My brake tests aren't very scientific. I just kind of go by how they feel to me. So usually I get up to about 20 miles an hour and I slam on them and see how they do. So we'll just hit it up here at these mailboxes. Let's slow down a little bit. Get to about 20 miles an hour and... Whoa. Yep, those work. I slowed down and stopped really fast. We can go a little faster here. Let's get up to about 25, 26, hitting the stop sign. Oh yeah, it locks them right up. Well, I mean, all in all, it's a pretty solid bike. I mean, I don't really have anything negative to say about it. I think they did a really good job achieving that balance of price and versatility and power and all that kind of stuff. Alright, so I guess my final thoughts on the thing is, yeah, I approve. It's a nice bike. I think they did a really good job balancing sort of value and versatility and power. You know, it's kind of a super well-rounded bike. I think they did a really good job with this. So if you're interested, the link is going to be in the description. Might be a little discount code down there for you too. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.